What's up, guys? It's Uyisa here, and we're back for another video. Today, as the title states, it's a vending machine collection day, and we're also going to give you guys a couple of tips of what to look for when buying your first vending machine and going to view a vending machine. This is highly important, especially if you're buying a second-hand or refurbished vending machine from an individual, because usually they don't give you any warranties or guarantees for a couple of months. Unless you're buying from a company, it's always best to have these 5 things to look at in hand when you're going to view your vending machine. Otherwise, without further ado, let's go view my vending machine and go collect that cash for the past week. Let's go. Oh, guys, as you can see over here, it's looking quite empty. This is very hopeful. It means it should have been a good week of sales at this machine. But otherwise, let's just check it out. So we're going to start with the coins. I don't know if you guys can see that, but looks like quite a bit in the coins. Yeah, it looks like quite a bit in the coins. It's quite heavy too. Otherwise, if you can't see, I'm just gonna pour it up and maybe you can see it from there. That is quite a huge amount of cash that just came through. And now we're gonna take in the notes. I hope you guys can see that too. Quite a bit stacked for a week. As you can see over here. Hope you can see that. That's quite a decent stack of cash. And then we're gonna count it for the past week once I am finished. And I'm gonna count it up at home and then give you guys a breakdown of how much it was, maybe in a different video, because I've done a lot of collection days, and the focus of this video I wanted to be specifically about what to look out for, what to check on your vending machines or potential vending machines when you are looking to buy. There are 5 things that you should check before buying and paying for a vending machine. The first thing to check is the spirals or the motors that dispense your product. You need to ensure that they are working and product can be dispensed from your vending machine. Otherwise, you won't get any sales. Most machines, if not all machines, are supposed to have a function of free vending to be able to test that spirals and motors are working. For this specific machine, it's quite easy. I'll just need to press the buttons and then I'll show you physically which one is going to be pushing through. So I'm going to test CA, this one over here, and hopefully you can see that it is turning when I do test it. So I hope you saw or heard that this one is working. A good way to actually ensure that all are working is to just test all of them, or even just one row of each. And if you're like me and you don't mind doing the extra work or servicing, if 1 or 2 isn't working, you will have to buy the spiral or the motor that needs to be replaced and then fix it up yourself. The second thing that you should check is if the compressor or fridge is working and making your drinks cold. Depending on the type of machine, it will have a compressor or fridge or it won't. This one has, because there are drinks in the machine. The snack machines don't have any cooling facility unless specified. So let's check this out. A good way to check it out is just to put your hand through into the machine and feel that there's a cooling air that's coming through into the machine. Otherwise, another way is that before you go view the machine, you ask the seller to turn the machine on and put a drink inside for you to test. That way you can feel that the drink is cold. For example, this one is very cold because the machine has been on 24 hours. But yeah, that's the second thing to check. The third thing to check is that the note reader is working. So the note reader is this piece here, which collects the notes. And on the inside, there's also a notes collection box, which is where you had found me taking out the notes. The best way to check that is to insert a note into the note reader itself and ensure that it accepts all notes. That's 10 rands, 20 rands. A lot of them actually also take 50 rands. Ideally, you'd want one that is able to accept the new South African notes, as they're starting to roll out a lot more, and that way you can make more note sales. And that's what I've noticed about my machine. Since I changed this note reader to accept the new notes and the old notes, it's been able to accept a lot more notes. So there's no problem if it does have an old note reader. You can upgrade it, and makes it a lot cheaper than if it doesn't have a note reader at all, because you'll have to pay for a new one usually. Or if you already have a note reader like a Jofemar BT10 or BT11, you are able to swap it out at suppliers for one, and that's a lot cheaper. Yeah, probably a quarter cheaper than if you were to buy a new note reader. The fourth thing to check is that the coin mechanism is working. So the coin mechanism is where the coins are collected, and the best way to check that is to insert coins into the machine and ensure that they register. So this will be for notes and coins. When you insert them into the machine, they should reflect onto the screen itself. Also very important is that there's actually change in the coin mechanism so that notes and coins can be accepted. Usually if there's no change in the coin mechanism, the note reader won't be willing to accept any notes, because there's no change if the note is, for example, 20 rand and you're buying something that is 10 rand. Those are the checks that you could do for the coin mechanism and the note reader. Another thing to check is the age of the machine. There are many ways to check the age of a machine, but I usually just look at the appearance, how much damage there is. If there's any dust that still needs to be cleaned, that means the machine has been standing and not operating for the longest time. A simple question to ask the seller is, how long have you had the machine and how long have you not been using the machine? You can usually see that without actually having to ask, but it's a good question to ask. Another way to check is the serial number. Is the type of machine a new model, old model, or is it a common model that can get spares easily? These are things you will have to ask the seller, or even get a more experienced technician in the area to assist with that. Sometimes it's okay to take the risk and trust in your gut that it may not be a good machine, or it may be a good machine. But a good indicator is the appearance. So yeah, guys, those are the 5 things that you should check before buying a vending machine. Please like and subscribe and follow for more information on starting your own vending machine business.